Well, good morning, Tuesday morning. Great to see Andre. Hi, Andre. Welcome back. I think we missed you last week.
Yes, yeah, sorry.
Morning, Andy. Thanks for hopping on the masterclass today. Who else have we got in the room? Let's just have a quick look. There's a few other participants. Feel free to hop on the live Zoom call today. Share your cam, share your audio. Today we're looking at unlocking the potential of LinkedIn ads. Certainly I'm no expert in this field, but hopefully some of the thoughts that I'm going to share will give you a bit of insight into whether it's worth spending a bit more time to looking at it in a bit more detail. I'm going to run through a quick slide presentation. These masterclasses are typically around about 45 minutes in length. So I'll do about 25 minutes of chat and information, and then we can have a kind of open session where we can hop around the room and see what other people are up to, their experiences. A lot of the principles here will apply to other ad platform channels like Google Ads and also Meta, which incorporates Facebook and Instagram ads. And we're talking about paid advertising. So so on the agenda, let's have a look. We've got a bit of an introduction and overview. Creating effective ad campaigns will be the second thing we look at. Advanced targeting techniques we're going to look at. How to track and measure the performance of your campaigns and why that's so important. And we'll actually do a LinkedIn ads kind of walkthrough. I'll take you through my own kind of LinkedIn ads account as well. Show you some of the options in terms of creating those ads. So yeah. Welcome. It's great to have you all here, and feel free to pop your hand up if you've got any questions that you need answering, or you just want to throw something out to the group. Before we kick off, who's got any experience with ads? Have we got any experts here with us today? Let me just open up the Zoom chat as well, just to make sure I'm not missing any of the chat out as well. Good to see Peter with us again, and Wayne, welcome. Lulu, I think I know which Lulu that is. I only know one Lulu, so it must be you. Anyone used paid advertising at the moment? Anyone giving it a go? Got burnt? Andy's lips are moving, but he's on mute. Right.
I do Facebook advertising.
Oh, okay. How did that go?
Well, I use it for my sort of I've got a family portrait photography studio. I use it for that, and it works really well.
Good. And in terms of ROI, you're seeing a good return on that investment.
Yeah, really. It all depends on what kind of. It varies massively depending on the subjects and what who you're trying to aim at, and the sort of target market. Sometimes it can be really expensive, and sometimes it can be really economical. We've found after doing experiments with different ones that some work better than others.
Yeah. If no one's guessed, Andy's a photographer. It's always backdrops kind of give it away a little bit, don't they? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's anyone else got any experience of ads? Anyone else on the call? No. Andre's nodding. Cool. Okay. Well, just a quick intro. Who am I? So I'm the founder of Leadith, a LinkedIn lead generation tool that exists to support business owners achieve their sales goals through automating their LinkedIn lead generation efforts. Probably for the last 6 years, I've been running a digital marketing agency, which is now called DoorWeb. And within DoorWeb, sometimes a lot of customers ask us about, we've just created a new website for them. What's the quickest way to get traffic to that website? Because obviously doing it organically can take a long time. So ads, this is where ads comes in. If you want a quick impact, quick traffic, throw a bit of cash at it, and that's how you get your traffic. So that's what we're looking at today. Where does all this sit? Obviously in the marketing funnel. Obviously ads sits right at the top. It's generating awareness. And then once they've clicked on your ad, that's piqued their interest. They're then going to move through to a landing page or something like that, where they'll consider you, have a look at kind of customer testimonials and things like that. And then they'll move down into that purchase stage when you can retain the client. So the modern take on that, marketing funnel is what we call the flywheel model. You're attracting people with those ads, and we're then engaging, delighting, and then they become advocates for us. So that kind of ad process can kind of kickstart this whole journey. If you're looking for new customers, then ads is certainly a way of doing it. That's just to put it into context. So a little bit about Leadeth. For those that aren't kind of aware about Leadeth, I know some of you are kind of regulars on, I know all about this, but at Leadeth, what we do is we look at your target audience in a bit of detail, and we access basically 640 million LinkedIn profiles who we've got data for. We map those to kind of your ideal target type of clients, and then we basically make sure your LinkedIn profile is speaking to that audience. So there's profile optimization. Now there's clarity there. People know what you do when they see your profile. We move up that road to LinkedIn outreach automation, and that's where we use lots of different touch points on LinkedIn. It's a omni-channel approach where we're doing profile views, likes, post likes, and then we're doing a sequence of messages, automated messages that are really going to engage with your target market. The natural follow-on step from that process is step 4, which is email outreach. That's where we integrate your email account to all this fancy LinkedIn tool, and then we send a sequence of follow-up emails on the back of those new LinkedIn connections, and they really help to move people further down that sales funnel. Then we do a bit on content marketing, and that's all about promoting what you do regularly on LinkedIn. That's really going to help to bring inbound leads into your business as well. And 6th there on its own is a little bit odd, appointment setting, but it's very key to kind of look after all these new leads, make sure we've got a proven system that's going to capture those leads and they're not going to go missing. So having a CRM in place to effectively deal with those leads. Let's have a look at some stats. So brands have seen a 33% increase in purchase intent and brand and acquisition in messages using LinkedIn, apparently 6% more likely to convert compared to other social media platforms. Now, the reason because of that is obviously LinkedIn is, 82% of B2B marketers, they talk about their greatest success has been with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very much a B2B platform. So these are some stats that have come from LinkedIn themselves. So yeah, this week's topic is all on LinkedIn ads. So we're going to look at how to use them to generate more leads for your business. So let's start with the basics. What are LinkedIn ads and why should businesses be using them? Well, quite simply, linked ads are a form of advertising that allows you to promote your products, your services on the LinkedIn platform. And it's very much a paid platform like all these other social media sites. That's where they're getting their revenue from. It's all coming from advertising. And the more time you're spending on the platform, the better it is for them, because they make more money from you clicking away at an advert potentially. So these ads can take lots of different forms, for example, you've got sponsored content, sponsored in-mails, and you've also got LinkedIn display ads, so where you're presenting a graphic or a video as opposed to just a text ad. Unlike any other forms of advertising, LinkedIn ads gives you a whole access to a highly targeted audience, and that's what makes it quite unique. Facebook's Meta have started to cotton onto this by including these personas where you can say, I want this specific audience and I want a lookalike of this specific audience, which we'll go into in a bit later, but that's quite a cool feature. And it means when you're spending your ad budget, it's being spent in the right places. So you're not going to be wasting that ad budget for people that are just never going to buy from you. So you can be quite specific with LinkedIn. So when it comes to creating an effective ad campaign on LinkedIn, there's going to be several key factors that are going to help you to achieve that desired result. I'm just going to run through some quick tips and explain, how you can create an ad campaign that's going to really resonate with your target audience. Firstly, think about setting some campaign objectives. Okay, so before you start creating the ad campaign, it's important to define your campaign objectives. Are you looking to increase brand awareness? Maybe you're looking to generate leads, or is it to direct traffic to a website? So once you know your goals and you know kind of what you're aiming for, you can then start to tailor your ad campaign to start achieving that. So these are some of the selections that come up when you first create an ad on LinkedIn. That's what you'll be presented with. Secondly, we need to think about what's going to be the right ad format. And if you are very new to this, I would suggest choosing a couple of different ad formats, because then you can kind of split test what you're doing, and that really helps. So some of the ad formats currently available on LinkedIn include these. You've got single image ads. So that's where you can just promote. If you've got a specific image and you want to boost that image, you can do that. We've got these things called carousel image ads, and the carousels are like multiple slides that can swipe across to give you a bit of a story, or you can blend one image into the other and do something quite creative. We've got video ads. So that's ideally you're looking at a 30-second, don't go more than 30 seconds because people will just switch off on those video ads. Classic text ads, and then you've got spotlight ads. So that's where you can showcase those to specific people. Message ads. We've also got conversation ads. I mean, the message ads are quite interesting. If you ever use Sales Navigator, you'll see that get used quite a bit, where ads come through to your inbox, and they're kind of driven based on stuff that you're talking about at the moment or writing about. They're quite content personalized. Conversation ads through DMs. Apparently you can do that. I've never seen any of those come off. It could be I've turned the settings off, but apparently people can start sending DM ads as well, which would really frustrate me if I saw ads coming through in my direct messages. And obviously event ads. If you're promoting events on LinkedIn, that's a really great way of doing what you want to do. So obviously every different industry will have a preference to which kind of format, but it's best to try a few different formats and see what's going to work for you. Now, thirdly, create compelling copy and visuals. So obviously,
could you try again?
Siri, be quiet. This is all about making sure our ads are going to capture our audience attention, and we need to clearly communicate the message. Okay, so Siri's going mad today on my watch. It's I don't know why I haven't said the word, but so yeah, make sure your ad copy is concise and compelling. It's use high quality visuals. So if you've got any graphics, make sure they're not really poor pixelated images, but really good high quality, strong visuals that are relevant to your message. Get a professional photographer involved. I mean, they'll probably know what will work well for you, and frame it and do it all right for you. So when you're thinking about optimizing your ad targeting, LinkedIn offers lots of different targeting options, including job title, company size, industry. You can also target by, if you're a B2B service, for example, you can target decision makers in specific industries, which is really helpful. So a couple of things to keep in mind. Keep that ad copy and visual consistent with your brand identity. If you've got a color scheme or a color palette, try to include that with those ads, and it will just help strengthen the links in the brain with your prospects. As I said, test different ad formats and targeting options, see what works best for your campaign. It's always good to try one or two at least. And then it's a matter of monitoring those campaigns and monitoring the performance regularly to make sure we see some good results. I mean, you don't want to switch it on and just let it run for a month without even looking at it, because that would just be foolish. Fourthly, optimizing your ad. So think about going back through those ads, tweaking them. If you've got a niche audience that you want to specifically work with, how could you laser focus on that niche? Think about their pain points. What are they going to want to see? So do a bit of research in advance, and that will really help you out. Obviously, we've got ChatGPT these days, and ChatGPT was really good for helping you to identify value propositions and pain points of your intended audience and stuff like that. And when you start to understand that, it will spit out some really good, catchy headlines and things that you can utilize in your ad copy. Some advanced techniques. So to truly unlock the potential of your LinkedIn campaigns, it's important to explore some of the more advanced targeting techniques available on the LinkedIn platform. And these techniques will help you to reach the right audience for your ad campaign and maximize the effectiveness of your advertising budget that you set. So one of the most powerful targeting options available on LinkedIn is what we call account-based targeting. And that allows you to target specific companies that you want to do business with. And you can specify company names or even an industry, And then that can particularly be effective for if you're B2B looking to reach decision makers within those target companies. So that's a great way of doing it, thinking about the company and going in specifically with ads to those companies. Another advanced targeting option is what we call matched audiences. And this is where you allow your target users who've interacted with your website. So if you've already got some data and you've collected some info, so you might be a LinkedIn page and you've got a list of a lot of likes and a lot of people on that page, that's great, because you can then target just those people on that specific so it could be your company page, so you can just target the ad just to that specific audience, and then obviously you can be a bit more personalized with that approach, and that's going to increase the engagement and also drive a bit more conversion, hopefully. So LinkedIn will also allow you to target users based on their interests, the skills, the job titles, such as IT professionals or marketeers. It's very really cool in terms of the demographics. You can go into age, you can go into gender. So a lot of people ask me, how do I target just women or women-led business owners and things like that? On the free versions, if you're not going through ads, it's very difficult to identify it just on the first name. Whereas if you create an ad, the ad actually allows you to go in and specify gender, specify all those extra things that you wouldn't see on just a basic LinkedIn search. So using ads really helps you to kind of hone in on that market quite nicely. Many businesses have successfully used these advanced techniques to drive businesses on, drive their traffic on LinkedIn to their ads. So for example, a B2B software company might use account-based targeting to reach those decision makers, whereas a recruitment agency would probably use matched audiences to target specific people who have interacted with their job listings. So that's how it can be used. And obviously with AI being more prevalent these days, it's going to be easier and easier to kind of go and grab that audience. So think about how you might explore some of those advanced targeting techniques. It does take a bit of thought. LinkedIn kind of guides you through that setup process when you create the ad. So hopefully it won't be so daunting for you. Tracking and measuring your performance. So tracking and measuring your performance, this applies to anything you do marketing related. Obviously with LinkedIn ads, it's crucial to have an understanding of the effectiveness and then optimize those ads for better results. And some of the key steps here, I'll go through in terms of making sure you're tracking and measuring the performance. So firstly, what you should do is set up what we call conversion tracking. And this is to understand, when they click the ad or fill out the form, and that leads to a purchase. We know that purchase came as a direct result of the ad. Okay, and there's tools out there like Google Analytics, Facebook have got the Pixel, lots of different things out there which allow you to track right the way through to the purchase. So if you've got it's a bit harder if you've got a service sector and you're not kind of tracking that, but certainly if you've got an online offering and you've got a product that you offer, it's very easy to then say, I've got 6 sales or 6 bookings that week, and they've been attributed to the ad. So think about conversion, and we need to start to monitor that. Some key performance indicators, and some of the key ones that you're going to want to measure are things like the click-through rate. So these are the people that are clicking through on the ads, and then you've got your conversions rates or your CVR. The conversion rate is also important to measure the success of your campaigns. CTR measures the number of clicks that your ad receives, while CTR measures that's the click-through rate, whereas the CVR, which is the click, what's it called? The CVR measures the number of users who take the desired action after clicking on your ad. So by monitoring those 2 metrics, it helps you to see, right, is it just the ad copy? Is it the smaller bit of copy that needs changing? And you can really start to tweak it. A lot of people talk about A/B testing. I think A/B testing is great. If you can create 2 different variants of an ad, and just do a little sample campaign for a week and see, which is yielding more. Is it campaign A or campaign B? That really helps you to then further optimize your ads. So LinkedIn ads is pretty well equipped to handle A/B split testing. So it's a feature there that you need to kind of really utilize, because once you've done that, you're not going to be wasting so much ad budget in the long run. So finally, using this data to optimize your campaigns is going to be crucial to helping you to understand, which ads are driving the most conversions, which targeting options are going to be the most effective for you, and certainly which keywords and interests resonate the most with your target audience. Many businesses have successfully used data to improve their LinkedIn ad campaigns. For example, a B2B software company might use data to identify which ad formats and targeting options generate the most leads, whereas a professional services firm would use the data to refine their messaging and improve their overall CVR rate. So think about what are going to be the key metrics, measure them, think about, is it weekly? Is it a monthly stat? How often do you need to be measuring that stat to make sure you're seeing a good return on it? So in conclusion, by tracking and measuring the performance of these LinkedIn ads, you're going to start to utilize your budget in a much better way and maximize your advertising budget. We're just going to dive into in the actual LinkedIn platform. Just share the screen here. It's not seen me today. Come on. So in terms of a user interface, it's not amazing with how LinkedIn works, but it's pretty easy to get your head around it and understand how you can go out and just get going and start creating these ads. So as I say, when you're creating a brand new campaign, it's all about this, kind of what are your goals here? So is it the top of the funnel awareness? You just want to promote your brand? Is it that consideration point? Are we driving more people to our website? Is it an engagement thing, or do we want just more people to view our video to get a message out there, or are we going for that conversion? Are we generating the leads through forms and things like that to get an email address and a phone number so we can contact people later? Talent leads is to do with a recruitment option there. Website conversions, so is it just driving people to a website maybe? So you think about what your type of ad campaign is all about. So for me, if I was thinking about promoting people towards my LinkedIn weekly moments, I guess for me that's more consideration. They're considering me on those those weekly masterclasses. So website visits is probably what I would go for on that side. There is an advanced option here, or there's a quick option. So the quick option will run through everything in a really simplified manner, and the advanced option will give you a lot more detail on a granular level in terms of what you can do. If you scroll down, you've got audience. So you can save audiences and reuse those audiences over and over again. I've created a couple here with some job titles that I've used, and you can set up, people that you don't want to contact as well. So you can actually add people that you don't want in your audience. As I say, you can upload a list. So if you've collected a list of people, you can say, right, I want, it could be an email marketing list you've got, and you've got about 200 people in your email database. You can say, right, I want to find people that are very similar to this audience. And that's really powerful because it allows you to then upload this new lookalike audience that looks similar to what you've uploaded, and you'll have a bigger reach. The next thing you need to specify is your ad format. So again, trying a couple of different formats will really help you out. One to start with, if you just kicking off, maybe just go for a basic text ad. Text ad is the simplest thing. It doesn't require you too much thinking about in terms of the visual, and in terms of the cost for getting a click on the ad, the text ad is going to be the cheapest. You're going to get more impressions on a text ad than you are for anything else. I think it's all to do with real estate, because obviously the images and videos just take up more space on the LinkedIn platform. You can also specify where you want that ad to go out. So LinkedIn obviously is a Microsoft owned. It's connected to hundreds of other different networks and other different things. So you can actually choose whether it goes out to trusted third-party platforms as well, or just purely on the LinkedIn website. And then you need to specify your budget. So you can set a lifetime budget for the campaign. So if you've got a whole month or whatever, and you want to throw some big bucks at it, then you can specify that there. I'm not sure what the actual minimum is. I know recently I did a campaign for around about 30 quid as a test campaign. So the smallest campaign you could do is about 250 quid on a lifetime budget. And if you're doing a daily campaign, I think £8 is the cheapest. Certainly it's the cheapest that I can do here in the UK for a daily campaign. Seems like a lot of money, but if it's working for you and it's generating the leads, then and you're seeing a return on investment, then it's a no-brainer. You can specify the start dates and end dates of that campaign. So if it's a specific relating to a specific event or something, that's where that could come in quite helpful. You've then got this this bidding strategy. So this is basically how it goes about displaying your ads. Obviously, you can have a manual bidding. That's where you control it, or you can basically let LinkedIn optimize the clicks as it sees fit, and it can you specify a budget, and it specifies what it feels. So £1.50 per click for a landing page. I think that's quite expensive. LinkedIn is always going to be a bit more expensive if you compare it to things like Meta. Facebook ads are obviously a lot cheaper. I don't know. Maybe Andy will let us know what sort of what you're paying on in terms of clicks. Have you got a click price, Andy, for Facebook? I think you're muted. It'd be good to see how that compares. Still muted. Let me ask you to unmute. There you go. Click the box. No, you're still muted.
Yeah, it's
yeah, there we go.
It's £1.40 actually.
Oh, really? So that's pretty comparable.
No, that's the one that the specific campaign that we're working on. It's a little bit different. And we found it's amazing. I mean, that's the best we've ever had. But quite often, if we're doing a more sort of standard one, it could be £5 or £10. It's a lot, but I mean, it pays off, But if you get it down that low, it's much better.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, I mean that seems pretty reasonable, but I thought Facebook was a lot cheaper. But
no, I'm not anymore.
It's probably gone up over the years. And then obviously the next bit is to create the conversion tracking, which is where we track what does a ping back to LinkedIn from your website look like, and you can actually go in and download a little bit of code to create that thingy. So it could be you've got a thank you page, and that thank you page is then the trigger, and that basically says, hey up, they've obviously clicked on the page, and then they've converted, they've received the thank you page. So that's how it knows whether a click has actually gone all the way or not. So that's kind of the basics in terms of setting up those campaigns. The next stage, once you've completed all that, is actually the ad creative. And that's where you're putting a title in, uploading a video, and it will give you good suggestions as well. And then you can just review and launch, and that's where it goes through for LinkedIn to approve the ad campaign. And so that's the LinkedIn ad campaign platform in a bit of detail there. Let's open up for Q&A. 9:30, bit early today. Anyone got any questions, answers, or any other further thoughts around kind of ads? Just check on LinkedIn to see if anyone else has commented or on the chat. Has anyone actually seen some of these carousel ads before? Do they actually stop on them and read them, or do they just scroll past them because they know they're ads? That'd be good to understand if anyone's.
There's the right questions now.
Yeah, go for it, Andy.
It's really funny. I don't know. When I've been on LinkedIn, I don't think I've seen any ads.
Yeah, and it's very subtle in terms of how they go about presenting those ads. So if I was
right questions now.
Yeah, go for it, Andy.
It's really funny. I'll get some weird feedback here, Alex.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked on the live stream and it started playing back. That's what was going on there.
Oh, right.
Delay. So if you actually go into LinkedIn, what tends to be ads will come up when it says sponsored ads. So you go to your dashboard or your feed.
Yeah.
So every 5 or 6 posts. Seeing if I can see any. Surprisingly, they're not very prevalent.
Yeah, I know.
Normally it says it's a sponsored post, and you know straight away, that's an ad. But it's obviously designed to hit you at the right sort of time, or
And also, I'm not the kind of person I've been targeted.
So if I was to search for a keyword, maybe photographer in LinkedIn, let's see if anything. So you get that looks like a page. Someone's page comes up there, and then you get people. But let's go to posts, for example. It's got LinkedIn's own ads. Yeah, it tends to just be so. Follow. It's hard to say. I mean, I think the Adobe post here, that's just a genuine post by Adobe, because I follow Adobe. That's why it's coming up.
Right.
I don't think there's any reason for that to be an ad as such. Ads. Where are these ads? Yeah, where are they? It's a nice platform.
I'm wondering if it's because of I haven't been targeted or you haven't been targeted. It depends on who you are and if you're being targeted.
Yeah, I guess, and it's also probably about the settings.
Yeah.
You might have it so ads are switched off potentially.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I mean, here we go. I mean, is this an ad? No, I thought, because I saw BBC, I thought, well, scammy sort of ad, but no, I can't. My feed is pretty clean. It all looks pretty legit, genuine stuff. But I definitely have seen ads. The sort of carousel ads I've definitely seen from like bigger software companies that are promoting it and stuff. But no, my feed is pretty clean. I mean, I've scrolled down 10, 20 posts and I can't see any ads coming up today. So maybe they're all kicking in the afternoon or something. I don't. Yeah, strange.
Yeah, that's what I couldn't. On Facebook, you can see ads all the time coming up.
Yeah. So nothing. I mean, even notifications. I don't see any huge. There's no huge things there in notifications either. But yeah, strange. It'd be interesting if anyone else can see any ads.
Alex.
So, yeah.
It comes up as. Hi, you're right. It comes up as promoted under the company name. So where you've got their 1,250 followers there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Promoted.
A sponsored post, or like a promoted.
Yeah, I'm seeing one for Dell right now.
Oh, brilliant. So Dell have obviously profiled you and your ideal candidate. But yeah, it's just interesting that I thought they were more prevalent than that. But going through my feed now, it just seems very clean, and I don't see anything that says promoted.
Lucky you.
But it could be my settings as I've switched all that off, and somewhere in the LinkedIn settings, I don't know. Interesting. Cool. Any other questions around kind of related ads or anything? You've got a tracking camera there, Peter. Very nifty.
I've got a movable desk. It's even better.
Oh, is it on wheels?
Yes.
Yeah, mine just goes up and down.
Mine does both. Yes.
Yeah.
The pixel, the tracking code.
Yeah, so there's a bit of code.
Is that the same as like a Facebook pixel?
Very similar. So yeah, it spits out a little bit of code, HTML or and then you pop that into your landing page, and then that tells it, it's received a lead.
And where will that information come up?
When you're actually creating the ad, so if you go back to the ads thing, you've got conversion tracking.
Yeah.
You create a new conversion thank you page. So if they filled out a form, you make sure their form then goes to a thank you page, and you can track it as what do you want to label it in your system. So you could label it as a book appointment, something like that. You put the average, what's roughly the spend of that conversion, because that will give you the data later on, and then you can specify the time window that track is allowed to track for. So obviously, if it's a really old track, it could not be a genuine campaign track. So you can specify, if it's current, just the last 7 days, and views, they have to have a view in the last 7 days as well. And then it's the last touch point. next step. And then you've got select the campaigns that you want to track. So I've already got a campaign that I've already got running. So you choose the campaign, and this is it. You've got Insight tag code. So if you've got Google Tag Manager, which sits on the back of your website, you can add it via Google Tag Manager, or there's some other tag managers. But if you haven't got any of that, then it's just literally copy and paste this ugly bit of code, chuck it into your website, and then that tells LinkedIn, can you track this as an ad from my campaign? And then when you see your stats and your reports, you'll say, you've done so many pounds worth of ads from that. So it's quite an important stage. Try not to skip it, but obviously you can, if you're not bothered by it, then you can skip that process. Yeah.
Where do you see the results? In the is there an ad manager?
Yeah. So if you go back to it's campaign manager where everything sits.
Campaign manager, right?
And then you've got you'll see a list of campaigns will come up. So for me, I've got this one here, test campaign. You can then dive into the numbers. There's also analyze. So this was a campaign that I pushed out back in March. And then you can kind of review it. I think because it's an old campaign now, there's no up-to-date stats on that one, so I'm not sure.
Right.
Analyze, version tracking. But basically that would then give you the impressions, the clicks, the cost per conversions, and all the different information, number of events, number of clicks you've had off the back of it. So you can monitor that there.
Okay, cool.
But it's very, very similar to the Meta platform. I always think they're not hugely user friendly. These sorts of ad management platforms, they could be a lot easier and more automated.
Yeah, I agree. When I look at Google Analytics and stuff, it kind of
it's a minefield, isn't it?
Yeah.
Great. Right. Well, back into the room. Any other questions or anyone? Maybe you've got a big takeaway, something that you've learned today. Feel free to share that. That'd be helpful.
When you set the objective in the ad, lead generation surely is going to be one that you really want, isn't it? Or...
Yeah. I mean, some people are more focused around brand awareness. So bigger companies who just want you want that generic kind of brand awareness.
But from a small company point of view,
you're going to want to see some sort of results, aren't you?
Yeah. So lead generation, and then maybe create a landing page or.
Yeah. So obviously, if you create a specific landing page that's geared for the LinkedIn ad, that allows you to then tailor that landing page to that specific audience that you're marketing. So then it's super focused, and then hopefully they'll click the button and book with you, and it'll take them to a booking page with the thank you link or whatever. So that kind of helps if you're doing that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the benefit of those that are listening, I offer a free strategy call, and that's basically where we run through your lead generation techniques using LinkedIn. I throw out some suggestions to you. You'd be welcome to book one of those calls. Head over to my website, which is leadith.io/strategy. It's a bit of a mouthful. It takes you to a Calendly booking page where you can then schedule some slots with me. I've probably got 1 or 2 slots still this week. Yep, Thursday, Friday. There's a couple of gaps in the calendar there. So if you want to hop on a call where we can discuss LinkedIn lead generation strategies in a little bit more detail, I would really appreciate that. But that's kind of like a end to the this week's masterclass. Next week, we're actually going to be looking at LinkedIn newsletters and also website blogs, kind of very similar. I've started a LinkedIn newsletter around about 13 weeks ago, last quarter, when I did this training. And to my surprise, I've got about 9,500 connections on LinkedIn, and around about so after about 3 months, 3 newsletters, I publish one every single month. I'm at around about 900, almost 1,000 subscribers to that newsletter. So definitely worth thinking about that. If you've got an audience and a lot of first-degree connections on LinkedIn, a newsletter can be a nice way to kind of tap into that audience, another method. So yeah, that's what we're going to look at next week. So it's Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock. We'll look at that. But yeah, back into the room to see what other people are up to this week. Anyone want to share? Sitting very quietly, Andre. What are you up to?
No, it's just listening. Yeah, no, I looked at adverts with Google, and yeah, it didn't really work for me. I've been thinking about LinkedIn, doing them, but I never got round to it, just because really busy. So, but it's something that I want to look into. Do you need premium to use
no,
that or not?
you can run it on a basic LinkedIn account, so you don't need premium. The power of it comes where you've already got that audience. So if you've already got an audience or a huge network that you've built up, whether you've done that through using automation tools and then kind of you've built up to, like me, 10,000 connections who are all pretty much your target audience. If you can then throw a promoted advert to them, fantastic. Yeah.
Alex, is there any stats on the usage of LinkedIn? Do people keep going back there regularly? Is it something they just pop into once a while?
I think it's very variable. I think I've heard of people that are using it and spending 2 to 3 hours daily in it. And that's what they do, and they're constantly nurturing connections and spending a huge amount of time in it. Me personally, I dip into it no more than an hour a day, and a lot of that time is via my software tool where I'm just responding to messages, but commenting on other people's posts and being really proactive does take a bit of time. So you kind of do have to leverage automation tools and AI to kind of maximize what you're doing there. It's an algorithm. Ultimately, it wants you sitting on LinkedIn more and more because that's how it makes money through the paid ads that it's displaying you and stuff. So like any other social media platform, I guess they want more of you there. So it is a
want your money, don't they? But no, I've done targeted advertising on it before, where you pick particular roles within particular industries, etc. It was interesting concept. Did we get much out of it? It was difficult to really identify. I would say not directly, but might have just been that what we were pushing was very niche, which means you're not going to get the level of responses.
No.
What I've found has been very effective, though, is I suppose becoming more of a key person of influence in your field, on LinkedIn, which is pretty much like you're doing, regular posts, etc., commenting back to people, expanding on it. It's amazing how you just see the number of views of your profile just shoot up in no time at all, and people wishing to connect to you.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing. If you can get it to a position where it's more inbound as opposed to outbound, it's taking a lot of work away from you almost. Sorry, I didn't introduce you, Peter, at the start. Do you want to introduce what you do? And
I'm Peter. We build AI platforms. Interesting enough, actually, we just built this last week. We built a new one, which is our own Neo GTP. So we've mimicked OpenAI's Chat GTP to be a closed platform, which we can then train and use for its own purposes. We link that into the likes of chat systems, etc., where you can pre-teach it anything you want within a particular field, and people talk to it without even realizing what they're talking to. It's very human-like.
Excellent.
It's been an interesting week.
That's good. I've just recently installed the Tillo, is it?
Yes.
Chat widget for a chatbot for a website, basically. So then it automatically sends them a voucher code if they're a new customer and kind of tries to engage with them a little bit more. There's so many little bots that you can add to it, and just playing around with that. Really, it's seeing if it's worth its weight to actually go for a subscription with it or not. But still got a free
And
trial.
your conclusion is?
So I'm seeing quite a bit of. I was amazed at actually how many visits, because it's actually logs all the visits to the website as well. So I was amazed at how much it's doing already. But it's still early days. I've only had it on for less than a week. I think I've got another week to kind of really try and see it, try and sell for me and upsell and do stuff. That's on the e-commerce platforms that I have. But but it seems a clever concept, and if you can eliminate a human agent to do all what it does, then it's a huge cost saving there, isn't there?
That's what we're looking to do, is to remove a call center, which it sounds a bit harsh, but the problem is that we really struggle within that business. We really struggle to fill the call center with people who are willing to work at antisocial times of the day, so between 5 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the evening.
And some of these AI voices are, no disrespect to we often get a lot of Indian phone calls, and they are hard to decipher what they're talking to you about. So I think some of these AI models are actually, their English is really good. And
you can train it on your own voice.
Yeah, well, descript and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is fantastic.
We normally use a girl's voice, and her name is Philippa Coleman. That's what we call it. It's an English rose name, which is non-offensive, and people like talking to her. Yeah.
And it's funny how in different industries, males versus females work differently, because we're looking at AI powered LinkedIn profiles. And part of the creation process is you can, specify the gender of the profile. So obviously it depends on which industry you're in. So I'm doing a campaign specifically focusing on the financial services and insurance industry. And I said, have you got any ideas whether a female or a male would be better in that, targeting those sorts of companies? And he said, yeah, definitely the female approach for insurance. So I'm going with a female bot who's going to work for the same business, and you specify how long she's worked for you. It's quite bizarre, but I'm going to just evaluating it, really, see if it's another service that we can provide as part of our done for you service.
It's clever stuff. Clever stuff. It does work.
Numbers game, isn't it? Brilliant. Anyway, I'll let you guys have the rest of your days. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining today, and we're going to stop the live stream there.
Thank you, Alex. Take care.
Cheers, Alex. Thank you.